Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and our Zenith 750 Super Duty build. Today's going to be a fun video because I get to unbox all of this Dynon equipment. This is a mock-up of what my instrument panel will look like in the Super Duty, and I have all of this equipment in these boxes with the exception of the D10. I didn't order this just yet because I do want to make sure I actually have room for it first before I order it. Before I start opening these boxes, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of why I chose Dynon for my panel. This is actually the third airplane that I have a Dynon panel. My first one, the first one with the Dynon panel was my Rans S6, and that had the one of the older D100s in there, which worked great. And then when I built my Cruzer, obviously I have the Skyview system in there, and I'm super happy with that. And so I wanted the same system in my Super Duty. Now, there's a whole bunch of other reasons why I went with Dynon also. I think they are the leader in the industry of avionics. They have a great website, they have great customer support. You can call Dynon and ask them questions. Try calling Garmin and asking them a question. It's not gonna happen. So I'm super happy. You know, you guys watch my videos. I brag about that Dynon in there all the time because I'm still impressed of what it can do. So anyway, I'm super excited to have this system again in my Cruzer, in my Super Duty. But of course, now this one will be a little bit more advanced. It's going to be an IFR panel, so I've got 2 screens, possibly 3 screens. This one will have an autopilot with the servos and all that stuff. So on future videos, obviously, I'm going to show you actually making the panel. My panel is actually going to be made by Aircraft Specialty, so I'll work with them and I'll kind of show you what we're doing with the panel on there. And then I'll show you all the wiring and stuff like that. That's the other reason I like Dynon is the wiring is not that hard to do. And I know, like when I got my HDX system in the Cruzer, when you first get the system and you download, it's like a 500-page manual or something like that. It really looks overwhelming and complex, but most of the manual you don't need unless you're doing autopilots and 2 radios and all that kind of stuff. So when you start narrowing it down to what you actually need, and then you take what you actually need, for example, say like the radio. There's a bunch of pages on the radio that kind of tells you about the radio, how to mount it and all that. But when it really comes down to the wiring, it's only like 1 or 2 pages with a wiring diagram that shows you how to wire it. So it might seem overwhelming at first, but it's really not. If you want to go with Dynon, you can have your panel made by Steinair and other companies, but it's not that complex to actually do yourself. And that's what I like about this. Most of these components come with pre-made cables and you just plug them into each other. So it makes it pretty easy to do. Before we open this, I just want to show you their website and a couple things on the website that I think is going to really help you if this is something that you're interested in doing.
All right, if you go to DynonAvionics.com, come over here to the left and click on Dynon. And up at the top here, go to Buy. You'll see a drop-down menu. You can go to Skyview System Configurator. And then this is a list of all their equipment. So in my case, I clicked the 7-inch primary display, a secondary 7-inch. Then we'll get an AHRS, a backup, the mounting tray, get a GPS receiver. We're going to get 2 backup batteries and an EMS module. Now, of course, you can go down the rest of the list for radios and transponders and servos and all that stuff. But I just want to show you down here at the bottom, whatever you click, it gives you a total down here. It gives you the part number, the item, and the price. And if you put your email address in here and hit send, it will email you this list that you can print out. And then if you have any questions, you can call Dynon and talk to them or make sure you got everything. That's what I had to do. I called Dynon and asked them because I had some questions about what kind of cables and things like that I needed. But it's a real nice page on their website to kind of gets you an overview of what you might need. All right, now because this can be really helpful, I wanted to show you a couple other things. If you go up here on Dynon's website to learn, and you go down here to product literature, lots of good stuff here, but if you go all the way down to the bottom and click on this picture here, this is really, really neat, and I think really helpful too. It shows all of the components and how they go together, where they connect, and things like that. It's just a really neat kind of overview of the whole Skyview system. And you can download this picture and take a look at it, but I thought this was pretty helpful. The other thing you might want to go to is support. And down here you can see they have a discussions forum. So Dynon has their own forums where you can create account and ask questions and things like that. So that's pretty helpful too. So, and lots of other good stuff on our website that you guys can take a look at.
Well, what do you say we get these boxes opened up? All right, we'll open up the smaller one first here. All right, dump out all the peanuts. And it looks like we have a packing list of all the equipment. And okay, this box looks like it's going to be if anybody wants to come over and pick up all these peanuts from my floor, that would be appreciated. So we got all kinds of cables. But see how these are pre-made? You know, it's got the ends on both sides. You just plug this into one thing and plug this in the other and you're done. So lots and lots of pre-made cables here. We got, to be honest, I don't even know what half of these are for right now. And this is where Dynon was actually a lot of help on the phone, is telling me what all cables I need. Now you'll see some of these cables do need built, like this one here. It's got the connectors in the wire. And again, I'll show you how to do that. Again, it's not that hard to do. Bunch more wire. Holy moly, there's a lot of connectors. More cables. There it is. That is all the cables for this whole system. Up next is the big box of goodies. All right, so what I'll do is I'll take everything out of the box and we'll open up some stuff and show you. Because right now, obviously, I don't know what's inside each of these boxes. But we got a lot of nice boxes here. Boy, they really packed this nicely too. All right, that. We got, I think that's a mounting tray. All right, we got 2 of these. We got a bunch of these. There's a lot of stuff here. Well, that one's pretty heavy. These might be the backup batteries. Oh no, these are the servos for the Autopilot. Definitely want to have an Autopilot in a Super Duty because I plan on doing some cross countries in that thing. And having an Autopilot would definitely be nice. Now these are the big boxes here, so I'm guessing this is probably the actual screens. I ordered 2 of the 7-inch HDX screens. All right, that's everything in a box. Now let's take a look at all this stuff. All right, let's open one of these big boxes here. This is a beautiful 7-inch HDX screen here. We'll take that out, and I'll take this out of the box and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, this is the screen itself. You can see how skinny it is. It's probably total width, I don't know, maybe 2 inches, 2.5 inches, something like that. It's got a couple fans on the back, some heat sinks, some slots to plug in those sub-D connectors, and a beautiful screen there. You can see the bottom is angled out. Very, very nice. So I've got 2 of these in the panel. All right, next up we have these 3 boxes here. This is the AHRs, and I think I have 2 of these, 1 for each unit. So, and each one comes with everything you get comes with a card with a website address for instructions and things like that. But you can see what it looks like there. Your pitot and static lines plug into there. And then I've got that silver thing in here is the outside air temperature probe that comes with it. So I should have 2 of these, I believe. This is, it says right on the box right here what it is. That's the AHRS 200. This is the 201. This should be pretty much the exact same thing, but it's the secondary one now. All right, so that's these two here. And then this one here is the EMS, the engine monitor. Basically, all the probes from the engine stuff will plug into here, and then there's just a cable that goes from here to the Dynon, and that displays all of your engine gauges on your Dynon screens. So this one here I got for the Lycoming fuel-injected model. There's a couple different ones you want to get depending on which engine you have. So this is for the Lycoming with their fuel injection. This right here is the Intercom. Let's see what this looks like. All right, now here's what it looks like when you open the box. And what we're looking at here is that is the intercom. So it's, I don't know, about 4 inches long, something like that. So that's it, kind of a little rectangular hole in your panel, and that slides right in there. So very nice. This is obviously the same exact one I have in my Cruzer. So everything else would be the same, like the radio is the same as my Cruzer, the intercom, all that stuff. This is, oh, the knob panel. So I don't have this in my Cruzer. And again, you can see how nicely it's packaged in there. If we open this up, we'll pull this out. Look how small that is. It's just tiny. It's just I should have wore a white shirt because my black sweater holds it, or blocks the view. But yeah, so it's got heading, track, and these buttons feel really nice. It's a nice little solid click to turn. I like that. Altitude and then barometer can all be set from here. That's pretty nice. All right, that's the panel there. And then this one is the Autopilot control panel. Wow, that's cool. And you notice all of these I bought in the horizontal configuration. And Dynon offer these both ways. So mine are going to mount this way. You can also get them to where they mount vertical like that. But again, you can see how skinny and small that is. It's just got the plugs in the back, so those cables will plug right into here and then go right into the Dynon screen. And even on these, the buttons have just a nice feel to them. I really like that. Really good, high quality components here. See, this is why I like going with Dynon. Just good stuff. This right here is, that's just a Wi-Fi adapter. It's like a little USB thing. This is a battery 320. So this is the backup. Yeah. So I've got a backup battery here. And what this is for is if you, if all your power goes out in your airplane, these batteries will still power the EFIS screen. So if you're flying IFR or something like that, and you have a complete electrical failure, you still will have your screens available with the backup batteries. I think I got 2 of those. Yeah, so this is just another backup battery. Each one of the EFIS screens has its own backup battery. And then this is the AirInc 429. There we go, just packaged in there. Very, very nice. All right, this box here, dual band traffic and weather receiver. It's got some connectors in it there. And I mean, it's just these tiny little components, you know, everything's so small. All right, this right here is just another Wi-Fi adapter. Each one of the EFIS screens has its own Wi-Fi adapter, so there's 2 of those. This is a GPS 2020. That's the antenna right there, same one I have in my Cruzer. On my Cruzer, a lot of people ask how because I mounted it up under the cowling. And that's where most people, well, I don't know most people, a lot of like the RV builders and stuff mount their GPS antenna under the cowling. And some people have asked me how it works. It works perfectly there. I've never ever had any problems with GPS reception or anything. So, I mean, the fiberglass cowling isn't going to block the signal. So it works great there. Now this is an SV42 servo. And I have two of these, one for pitch, one for bank or aileron. And so we got a little bracket there, and we got the servos themselves. These servos are kind of heavy. These are probably, I don't know. I'm sure the website tells you. If I had to guess, I'd say 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds. It's hard to tell. But man, these are nice. Look at that. Look how nice they are. That's a nice looking servo. So again, I have two of these. And then with the servos, I have, there's some mounting kits you can get. So I have, is this, no, that's not it right there. These are just like push rod arms. So you got a nice push rod tube with the ball connectors on the end. So I got two of these, one for each servo. And then in here, I think is like mounting trays, like the servo mount. Yeah, that's the, it looks like a mounting tray for the servos. Here's one of the hubs to where a lot of those white 1 foot long cables with the ends on them attached to. It's kind of like a central unit for everything. We got a fuel flow right here, so we're going to have fuel flow on there. We have an ADS-B or an ADS-B antenna and a transponder antenna in there. And then we have, oh, this is kind of cool. I want to show you this. This is a dimmer control, and it mounts on your panel, and it's just a little knob you can turn to dim your screen. Now you can dim it through the actual Dynon itself, but it's a little bit easier just to have a separate knob where you can dim the screen. So that's kind of cool. And then I have another one here that's kind of cool. This is the Autopilot disconnect button. Now, Dynon said that any push button would work, but obviously I wanted to have their real nice button here. I'll show you a picture of this, but it's just a real nice button. It says AP or Autopilot disconnect on it. So I'll mount that somewhere that's handy. I can press that, and that disconnects the Autopilot. All right, finally we have two more boxes. In here, this is the VHF Transceiver, so it's basically the radio. Now I showed you the radio before, and that's just the radio head that goes in the panel. But the actual radio itself is here. Oh no, I didn't show you the radio. I showed you the intercom. This is the radio. Again, just like my Cruzer. Same radio I have in my Cruzer. But then this is the actual radio itself, which in my Cruzer I have mounted back behind the baggage compartment. So this part is mounted behind the baggage compartment, and then of course the radio itself is mounted in the panel. Now again, on this one you can see I have it so it's mounted horizontally and not vertically. You can buy these either way. Just when you order it, you select which orientation you want. So, all right, that's the radio. Put that over there. This, I think, would be the transponder. Yep, the transponder. All right, so in here we have a connector and the transponder, which is kind of looks just like the radio. In fact, it's about exactly the same. It's probably the same case, but this is a transponder. Again, it can be mounted anywhere. And the way you operate the transponder is right on the EFIS screen itself, so there's no other separate controls for this. Now, one other thing I want to show you is, because I am making this an IFR panel, I went with the Garmin 175 GPS, and you can see Garmin doesn't pack their stuff nearly as nicely as Dynon. But this is the Garmin 175. It's basically an IFR certified GPS. Now again, the Dynon does have its own GPS, but this is a separate GPS that it does interface with the Dynon. So with this GPS, I'll be able to fly LPV approaches, and all that information will be displayed on the Dynon screens. So that pretty much completes my entire IFR panel for the Super Duty. This is what we have here, folks. This is a complete dual screen Dynon instrument panel. This is all the equipment. Now obviously you can go much, much simpler than this, but this is what I chose for my panel, and I'm super excited about it. All right, now seriously, who wants to come and pick all this up? Did you look up? Oh, you might look up too late. Let's see what it looks like.